And we're live.
Hello, and welcome to the Pete Braley Show. This is show number 1. I'm your host, Pete Braley, and this is my son, Matt Braley.
That's me.
That's you, and I think the set looks great. So I know you're a little concerned you don't have your desk.
Everything
right?
looks good except the desk, okay? We got nice shelves. We got the poster. I really like the poster.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Think it came
We
out
got
well?
a beautiful chair right there
Very
that we
comfortable.
purchased for you. A throne, some might say. And I'm at a card table that we just had lying around the house because we ran out of money. No, I'm just kidding.
We did look. We
did.
Looked at
We tried.
every furniture place and Amazon and everything.
I would say it's been the hardest part of the show. Setting up the show was finding a desk. You can't find exactly what you need, so when you can't find exactly what you need, you build it yourself. But the our carpenter that we have on retainer is in Virginia.
My oldest son,
Yeah.
So
Doug's,
we're going there in 2 weeks.
Yes. So Doug's gonna help me build it, but I don't have it yet. So this is what we got for now.
And 2 weeks into the show, he has to set up a remote broadcast.
Yeah.
So putting him right to the test.
Don't know whose idea that was, but we're doing it.
We are coming to you almost live this morning.
Yeah.
Well, I'm live. You're live.
I don't want to talk about it, but it's a talk show, so I guess we got to talk about it. It's been a day. It's been a day, Pete. So it's actually, you're watching this at 8 o'clock in the morning, or you're watching it later on in the day.
Morning.
It is 6:45 at night.
Yeah.
The day before June 1st. I know it says June 1st on the screen. It's actually not. It's May 34th. We're a bunch of frauds, is what I'm getting at.
We have succeeded in time traveling.
Yes. No. Everything is all ready to go, except we tested the YouTube Live today, and turns out you need 24 hours to get approved to go live on YouTube.
And we only had 23 at the time, right?
That is my bad. Yeah. I put that off late, so I apologize. But hopefully we'll be live tomorrow. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I've heard some cases it takes a couple days, but we'll see.
So anyway, welcome to show number 1, and I think everything will be fine, as far as getting going here. Just kind of limits us with the chats. We'll get into that in a moment, but we'll be just fine. Welcome to the new show. As I said before, my co-host, producer, is my youngest son, Matt.
That's
and
me.
Why don't you introduce yourself as to what you are, what you do?
Yeah, where am I? I'm Matt. I'm the youngest of 4. Some say the best looking of 4. Yes, but what to say? I used to be the shy one.
From the others.
Yeah, probably. They're probably texting me the second this airs. No, but I used to be the shyest one. I would not talk to anybody.
Yep.
I still am. If you catch me while I'm working at the sporting goods store that I work at, don't talk to me. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's fun because I was the shy one my entire life, and now I'm here to embarrass myself. So let's do it.
Hey, we'll see what happens. So
yeah,
we did get some nice comments after the trailer posted the other day, which, by the way, was written, produced, and also the music was written and performed by this guy.
Thank you.
Yes,
I thought it came out. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah. We got some nice comments. Betty said, I will be watching and listening from Illinois. So happy to have you back. And thank you, Betty. And in fact, we have Betty in Illinois. We have Greg in Florida. I have friends in Holland and Germany.
Look at this.
So this is the worldwide headquarters.
Yes, the Pete Braley Show worldwide.
Greg, by the way, said, love the promo, although the voice guy is pretty lame. Now, Greg is the voice guy.
Yes, that is. And he did a phenomenal job.
He did.
I had like a rough track of me doing it, and I like pitched it down to make it sound like epic, and it just wasn't there, and Greg knocked it out of the park. Yeah. It was really good.
And he did have a comment for us to remember.
He left us a little treat. Let me play it for you.
And just for the record, nobody will ever be as good as the old sports guy. And just for the...
Sorry.
Yeah, he, I wouldn't say he was the first sports guy, but he was, I guess, one of the first or second co-hosts on the show. So I enjoyed having Greg. He was only there with me for 2 years, but I've known him since the late 80s. And he is now, if you get down to Tampa, Florida, he is the voice of the Tampa Bay Rays.
I will say that you are the sports, you do the sports. So technically he's saying he's better than you. So I don't know if you want to square up with him.
Well, he has a better voice.
Yeah.
I will give him that. He's got better pipes.
We'll let you guys decide.
Martha said, remember when I posted the trailer, I said, I wonder if I still got it. So Martha said, it'll be like riding a bike. It will most likely take you all of 2 minutes to settle back in it. She says, you had us at hello. Good luck and break a leg.
Joke's on you, because we never said hello in the trailer. So
No.
I love you, but you're a liar.
There was no hello.
Yes, there was no hello.
Valerie says, this is the best news. Following your adventures and challenges have been great, but you have been missed so much. Welcome back. I look forward to hearing you again. Oh, Allison said, that's awesome. Lots of luck to you and your favorite son.
Shout out Allison. That's my favorite part of the trailer.
We're not supposed to have favorites, okay? We don't have favorite
That's
kids.
why I write the scripts here, folks.
Yeah. My friend Scott Fleischman, who's up in Vermont, said, this is awesome. So proud of you guys. This is such a great platform, and now you can turn these into podcasts as well.
It's a great platform, except that they make you wait 24 hours to go live.
And they don't tell you that.
They don't tell you that until you try to go live.
And by the way, podcasts will be happening. These will be turned into podcasts so
Yes,
that you
sir.
can listen to them while you work out or travel.
Safely. Do not watch the video while traveling.
Yes. Oh, and finally, Alyssa said, what a fantastic announcement. I am so happy for you and look forward to it. I love that Matt is your producer. This is going to be fun.
Hopefully he doesn't screw up.
With the
We'll
producer.
see. Yeah.
I always liked that. I always liked having other people on the show, number one, so there was someone to talk to. But I always liked having younger people, if I could get younger people, because it gave you new perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and it
Some
gave
say
us,
better perspective.
gave us a chance to understand
Yeah.
what's going on. So we thought that we would start the show. Well, first, why don't we talk about how you can keep in touch with us and how you can contact us.
That's a good point. On this video, because this one's not live, you can still leave comments, though. So leave comments below of things you want to hear, questions that you have, compliments for the producer, whatever you would like. But typically,
Love the music.
when we can start live streaming, there'll be the chat that I'll be monitoring live. So if you have a question, I can read it to Pete here. He can answer it if you want to know his favorite Ninja Turtle. I never watched the Ninja Turtles. So,
I wasn't into that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think, were any of us? Doug, maybe? I feel like Doug might have been.
We didn't want Doug to watch the Ninja Turtles or Bart Simpson because we were afraid he would act it out. Climb the curtains.
Well, I didn't watch any of that, and I think I was the worst child of them all. So, anyways.
Most challenging, maybe.
But you can always reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram. You can send us a DM or comment on a post. And also we have an email, thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Now, we thought we would start out the show with taking a look at where I've been. All right, so here we go. For those of you that don't know and you're just clicking on us for the first time, I was part of the morning radio scene in southern New England for over 30 years. First with Joni Pfeiffer on the Joni and Pete Show on WMYS, and then the Pete Braley Show on WBSM. I was fired from WBSM after a new company came to town. We had a pretty successful run on the morning show, but whenever a new owner comes to town, I survived actually 2 or 3 new ownerships. But when this one came to town, I guess they had their own plan in mind that did not involve me or did not involve paying me what I was making.
What are your thoughts on the current ownership?
So they, what's that?
What are your thoughts on the current ownership?
The current ownership?
That would be me, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so far, getting along well with the current owner.
All right, so the
And,
first show, we'll see. We'll see if we say the same after 50.
We'll have to see how much I have to butter him up. I don't know. So, once I got over the shock of being fired, and it was a shock, I never saw it coming. So once I got over the shock of getting fired, I started looking for a new job. And my wife, Priscilla, said, why don't you say yes to everything that comes along? See what's out there. So I did. The Standard Times offered me a Sunday column, and I said yes. My friend Scott Renish offered me a job, a part-time job at Easy 99.1, so I said yes. I started doing that, and I spent a year on the morning show there. I was offered a job covering Martha's Vineyard and Cape Cod football, and I said yes, for an internet company, although that made for some very long days, especially for a game on the Vineyard, because I would meet my partner at 2:30 in the afternoon, or we'd take the 2:30 boat over to the Vineyard, then a cab to the high school, set up our equipment, have a quick bite to eat, do the game, and then I had to get another cab to bring us back to the boats, hopefully catching the 8:30 or the 9:30 boats. And I would wander in, about midnight?
Yeah, you'd be back close to midnight. Big Mac in hand, eat that and go to bed. That's about it.
So, but it was a lot of fun doing that. My friend Jim Marshall offered me a job at New Bedford Cable Network to do high school sports and also an education show, which I still do, Classroom Chronicle. So I said yes. So I was doing all of these things, and one morning I got up at 4 o'clock to drive to Plymouth for the radio show, and I had a stroke, which on top of all the other surgeries I had had, was the most serious thing I ever had to deal with.
It's a scary time.
And I wrote about it, by the way. The family kind of challenged me when I was wondering what to do with myself. They said, well, write a book. So I did. And it's over my shoulder here.
Yeah, it's right above his left shoulder there.
I'm Not Done Yet, which is still available at Amazon.com, by the way. Shameless plug.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I wrote that book, and then I started a website, PeteBraley.com. I started writing a column. Sunday columns continued when the Standard Times let me go because they did a number of cutbacks. And so the website kept me busy. And then last year, my daughter was about to return to work after giving birth to our grandson, Liam. And she wasn't looking forward to handing her baby off to a total stranger for daycare. So when she was telling me and my wife about that, I thought, well, I could do that. You know, I could take care of the little guy. So we talked about it, and everybody thought it'd be a good idea. We made, certain arrangements. You know, like they would set up a diaper station downstairs so I didn't have to take the little guy upstairs all the time. And so that was a blast. I went down to Virginia Beach, and what we thought was going to be just like a 6 or 8 month job turned into a year and a half.
Year and a half, yep.
Because, number one, I went there in January of 2020, and then Corona hit in March of 2020, so the daycares were not accepting new children. Then there were Navy issues with my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law and my son, so it ended up being a year and a half. But we did realize, that I had to come home at some point. I missed being home. And besides, the little guy needed to be with people his own age because he was too fast for me after a little while. So yeah, it was time to come home, and that's where you came up with the idea for the show.
Yeah, so when you were gone, obviously it was just me and Trish here, and which we should say.
Yeah, my wife's name is not Trish.
Yes.
But he will continue to call her Trish.
Until the day I die. So her name is Priscilla, as many of you probably know, but I don't know when exactly it happened, but I just called her Patricia to mess with her.
At one point, you called her Patricia.
Yeah, it was just a joke, but I just liked it. I thought it was funny. And over time, it just shortened from Patricia to Patrish, and then to Trish, and now she's just Trish. You know, she looks like a Trish to me. So she's Trish, and it's not out of disrespect. It's all out of love, and I think she secretly likes it.
Yeah.
Every time I say it, my name's not Trish, but I think she likes it. I think she acts like she hates it, but she really likes it. Plus, everybody calls their mom. That's boring. I call my mom Trish.
Yeah, true. If we're at a ball field and everybody says mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I yell out Trish. Trish knows who she is. And she'll probably yell out, that's not my name back. And I know where she is. It's perfect. It works out perfect. But yeah, no, so we would eat dinner together every night, and we just kind of got talking the closer it got to him coming home. And I think she was concerned because you were so busy down there every day. It was a full-time job.
Yep.
You probably worked harder at that than you have at anything in your life. It was quite the project.
Yeah.
That kid ain't easy. But no, so we were talking every night trying to figure out kind of what would happen, and I'm kicking myself because I don't remember exactly when I came up with the idea. And I love remembering when you first spark an idea.
Right.
Like the trailer, I remember vividly. It was at like 2 a.m. one night, right as I was falling asleep, and thank God I didn't fall asleep. I woke up and I wrote the entire script of the trailer that you guys saw.
Oh wow.
At 2 a.m. But yeah, so like I love remembering it. I can't remember this one, but you must have said something to Trish about the radio show, the old radio show.
I miss being on the air, and I have every day, and I dream about it at night.
So we were talking about it because it's always been something that's stuck with you, and you wrote the book, and you've been writing blogs, and you've been doing all these jobs, but the radio show still stuck with you. And I had been getting into audio production with music, and also like video production with different things. And so I was like, we could definitely make this happen. Like, it's not a question of if we can make it happen. The only question was I wasn't sure whether or not you'd want to, because you worked hard for a year and a half. I didn't know if you'd want to come home and just take, I didn't know if you'd be ready for another full-time job.
Well, that's why I asked you for that too, for that week.
Yeah.
I was going to have a week.
We did make a deal. Once he agreed, we made a deal. When he came home, he had a week off, which let me do some behind-the-scenes stuff. Obviously not register for a YouTube Live because that's still not ready. But yeah, no, so that's where the idea came from.
Yeah. And it, I don't know if I could do a full-time gig anymore. I mean, the show is going to run anywhere from an hour and a half.
We basically shoot to prepare a 45-minute show.
Yeah.
And it'll turn into a 30-minute show or an hour and a half. Who knows?
Right. Because it's one of those things where with the surgeries I've had, you can read about it in the book, by the way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of surgeries.
With the surgeries and things, I really can't. I can't sit for too long. I can't stand for too long. I can't walk for too long. So
I've created a full-time job where he walks down from his bedroom, which is probably 100 steps away.
Yeah.
And he walks down and he sits in this chair and he talks for an hour, and then that's it.
I can go lay down.
I think it's a pretty good gig.
I can go lay down.
I can't pay you anything yet, though.
Prep for the rest of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we're doing. And to give those of you that don't remember the radio show an idea of what we're all about, we used to call the radio show infotainment. I'd like to think I invented that word, but I can't prove it. So
let's just say right now that you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the show was infotainment, and it wasn't a traditional talk show, but if the news of the day, warranted it, we could do that. It was sort of like New Bedford's version of the Today Show on radio. We would always, we jump to different subjects. Because that way, if you weren't interested, say, in the subject on sports, you knew that in like 3 or 4 minutes, I was going to do something else.
Yeah.
So we hope to bring much of those segments back. I know I asked about it this weekend, and somebody said that they enjoyed the trivia, and especially Medical Monday.
Yep.
Every Monday we used to have a question that had something.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Had something to do, like if I mentioned a disease, what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or a body part. The official name of a body part. Where does it located? We don't know if we're going to be. I mean, we're trying to figure out how we do trivia because right now we don't have the call-in capability.
It's just a logistics issue. Once we figure it out, I would love to. I love the impossible question. That was one thing that I remember the most about your show. But yeah, I would love to bring it back. We just don't take live calls, and we probably won't for a little while. So I would just have to figure that out.
All right.
Yeah.
And much of the show will be what I've done for over 30 years, and that is what I call Slice of Life. Just Matt and I discussing things that we all deal with on any given day.
And we deal with a lot, man.
Yes.
We deal with a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
And also feel free to let us know about anything you'd like to discuss. Now, this is show number 1, and I do count them. If you were a listener of the morning show, although you had to be there at the start, because
only the dedicated listeners.
That's
man.
it.
Yeah.
Your P1 listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I only did it at 6:10 every morning. I would identify, this is show number 2,422 or whatever. I did get up to 5,000 plus.
That's crazy.
Almost 6,000.
Yep.
And the reason I did it was an idea that I got from a DJ in San Francisco, Dr. Don Rose at KFRC in San Francisco. I don't know if I stole it from him or just borrowed it.
I don't think you can steal. I mean,
No?
it's counting shows. I don't really think that's something you can trademark.
So what we did was for show number 1,000, we got all dressed up in tuxedos, and we did a live broadcast at the Old Country Buffet, if you remember that.
Yeah, that closed recently, right?
I think so.
I think I went there once. I'm pretty
sure. It was
sure.
out near Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, that's right.
For show number 2,000, I actually took a trip to the Spam Museum in Austin, Minnesota.
This guy's addicted to spam. I don't get it.
Well, the way it all started, because many people may not know the whole story. Mm-hmm. The way it all started was I was at the fax machine one day. Go ahead, say what's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the fax machine, and a press release came over from the Hormel Food Company, the makers of Spam. And they were announcing, I'm not sure, I have to look up the number, but I think they were announcing the 1 billionth can of Spam.
Which blows my mind that 1 billion people actually bought Spam.
It's huge in Hawaii.
I've never had it. I've never had Spam.
Really?
Yeah. You're the
I love
Spam
it.
guy. We always have Spam in the house because of you. And
Yep.
I don't think I've ever had Spam.
I like a little Spam and cheese. That's really
No,
good.
see, that grosses me out. To have that. Trish puts it on salad, which I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dice it.
Spam, she's
Yep.
also had a Spam sandwich, and that grosses me out.
No, it's very good.
I don't know.
It's very good. So anyway, if I found out that there was a spam museum, and at that time the morning show had a budget. It was a line item in the budget. Morning show, $500.
I thought it was a line item in the budget. Spam, like there was a spam budget. No.
So I was able to buy a ticket and to fly out to They opened up the spam museum at. They had to open it up an hour early, I think, because of the time change. So.
I mean, if a spam museum opens up early for you, you got to be important, right?
Yeah. So we did the show from the spam museum, and I remember after the show was over, I had something like 6 hours before I had to be at the airport. Mm-hmm. So I got in my rental car, which was a red Mustang.
Okay.
It was a cool rental car.
So it was a budget issue. They sent you to the spam museum, and they give you a Mustang, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I drove to Minneapolis to see the Mary Tyler Moore statue.
Ah.
Yeah, with her throwing her hat up in the air. I've seen that.
Damn. All because of spam.
All
Look
because
at what spam has done for you in your life. You
So,
owe it all to spam,
I do.
some would say.
I do.
Yeah.
I am the spam man in New Bedford. Yeah. For show number 3000, I said I was tired, and I was tired of getting out of bed every morning, so I did my show from my bed. And the late Mayor Fred Kalis actually came to my house and came into my bedroom and gave me a plaque.
I do have to say that was one thing I was worried about the show, is I wasn't sure if you'd want to wake up early again.
Yeah, well, the jury's still out.
But it's also not as early, which is why I thought it was justified.
True.
Because it's not nearly as early as your old show.
Don't have to get up at 4.
Yeah.
No, just kind of have to get up about 7:45, roll out of bed, and come down.
A little earlier than that, yeah.
So for show number 4000, we raised $4,000 for the Schwartz Center for Children. Then for number 5000, we took a city trolley and we went around to a few breakfast spots in the snow that morning. I remember that morning it snowed.
Oh, wow.
And believe it or not, I was just a few weeks away from number 6000 when I got fired.
That's messed up.
And as I look back on it, I kept trying to get the promotions department and the salesman. I kept trying to get a meeting with everybody so that we could discuss what are we going to do for number 6000. Nobody was ever available to meet.
They're fake. Give me their names.
So that should have been a sign, right? Because I did probably, I forgot what number I got fired on, but it was probably number 5,900 and something.
That's crazy. Do you remember how long it took to reach those marks?
It took. I was there 25 years, so it took 25
years to get to almost 6,000.
To almost 6,000.
Okay, so we probably won't get to 6,000. I don't know if you want to do this for 25 years. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey, we'll see how much fun we have. Yeah. So here we are. This is show number 1, and let's get it going. Now, we will usually start the day by telling you what our main topic is or the topics we hope to discuss that day. And then we'll get going with a look at the almanac. So here we go. Today is June 1st, and June is National Zoo and Aquarium Month, Men's Health Month, National Accordion Awareness Month, LGBTQIA Pride Month. It is National Fresh Fruit and Veggies Month, National Adopt a Cat Month, National Camping Month. I feel so bad for people that went camping on Memorial Day weekend.
It was a miserable weekend.
It was.
It's finally now somewhat not raining, but
I saw a friend of mine who packed up on Sunday. I guess they were going to stay till Monday, but he had it.
Yeah,
it was cold.
I would have too. Yeah.
National Homeownership Month and National PTSD Awareness Month. Today is National Go Barefoot Day, which I'm not. I can't. I'm a real sissy when it comes to that.
When it comes to going barefoot?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, walking. I don't know what I did when I was a kid, but now it's like if I walk in the street and I get a rock under my foot.
Are you self-conscious about your feet or something?
Well, I think my feet are fine, actually. But
we'll see.
It's National Nail Polish Day today. It's National Say Something Nice Day. So it's a very nice hat you have, Matt.
Thanks, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
National Say Something Nice Day. And our history highlight, CNN began on this day in 1980. Does anyone else get amazed that when you talk about 1980, it's 41 years ago? The 80s to me seem like last week.
Yeah, to me they seem like a lifetime ago because I was not alive in the 80s.
Good point.
So they're literally more than a lifetime ago.
Now, this was back when there was no 24-hour news cycle. This was back when you watched the 11 o'clock news, and then that was it till the Today Show came on.
Now it just never stops.
Yep. And celebrating a birthday today, one celebrity that sticks out to me is Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan is 83 years old.
I love Morgan Freeman.
80, doesn't everybody?
Yep.
All right. So let's get into what's going on. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the news at this point. We had a family debate, actually, about whether or not we should stay away from the news. Some people thought, one of my daughters thought that we should be an escape from the news and not deal with it. But I know the news was always part of the show.
Yeah. Plus, I think it'll be a good source for the news. You know, we don't need all the crap that sometimes comes with the news. It'll just be what you need to know.
Yeah. And, we're not out to break any stories or anything, win any awards. Just that if it happens, that'll be nice. But we'll just take a look at some of the stories that are going on. Here's what's happening for this Tuesday. The USS Constitution honored Memorial Day with a 21-gun salute yesterday. Old Ironsides fired off at noon on Monday. The ship also hosted a ceremony on board commemorating the sailors and Marines who have died in service. Several Gold Star families were in attendance. In addition to a fan who was arrested for allegedly throwing a plastic water bottle at Kyrie Irving, Boston police also charged another man who they say assaulted an officer who was trying to remove him from TD Garden. North Oxford resident William Lights was asked by security to leave after he challenged fans around him to a fight. When police said he had to go, he said he paid $40 for these tickets. I'm not going anywhere.
I mean, $40 isn't that much for tickets. I'm going to be
really
honest. I don't really think that's a strong argument to make.
He get into a pushing and shoving match with police. Also, so he'll be appearing in court today, and also appearing today will be 21-year-old Cole Buckley of Braintree. He's the one who allegedly threw a plastic bottle at Irving as he was leaving the floor after the Nets win. They're charging him with, assault with a dangerous weapon.
I guess it depends who wields it, I will say. I think if, like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was wielding a water bottle, then that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think he could hurt somebody.
Especially how much water's left in the bottle.
Yeah.
Really. President Joe Biden observed his first Memorial Day as Commander-in-Chief. He delivered remarks Monday at Arlington National Cemetery, painting democracy as the soul of America and one that was worth fighting for and worth dying for. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is on a collision course with one of the state's biggest industries over a law that he signed banning businesses from asking customers whether they've been vaccinated against COVID-19. The cruise ship operators who sail out of Florida's large southern ports say the order is going to make it harder for them to safely return to sea, possibly being a major economic setback for the state. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention gave the go-ahead last week to begin working toward restarting the cruise industry for the first time in over a year. Of course, they were massive super spread. They were one of the first super spreader locations of the virus. Now, to comply with CDC guidelines, and to keep passengers and crew members safe, several cruise liners want to require nearly everyone on board to be fully vaccinated, but that could now be illegal in Florida. That's going to be a mess. And finally, the New Bedford High School Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, or the JROTC, one at New Bedford High School has earned re-accreditation, receiving the highest program accreditation. That's the Gold Star Honor Unit with distinction. Colonel Stephen Bethony retired, the senior Army instructor for JROTC at New Bedford High, said the cadets worked very hard under difficult circumstances. Most held private group meetings after school hours to organize and hold practice presentations. Our entire battalion did an exceptional job to earn this highest program accreditation. So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into sports in just a bit. Look at Red Sox and Celtics and Bruins. But for the past week, we have been keeping a list of things we want to talk about on the show. And a couple of times, Matt would just call out and say, hey, write down this.
Listen, my mind works quick. I can't explain it.
So one day, I wrote this down, Matt and the spying bird.
Yes.
That's all you told me to write down. So what's the detail?
Listen, I don't want to get into conspiracies. Okay, that's not what we're here for. I do like conspiracies, but we don't need to talk about it.
All right.
This is fact. Okay, this is not a conspiracy. For the past year and a half, and I'm not making this up. You can ask Trish. Trish is a witness of this story. Okay. There has been a robin that has been following me back to this house every single day. I swear, and I'm not making this up. So where I eat dinner, we have assigned seats. I think everyone has assigned seats.
Doesn't
right?
every family have assigned seats?
I'm very strict about my assigned seats in this house. But at the dining room table, I have my assigned seat, and it faces out a window. Okay? Every time I'm eating dinner, the robin is right outside my window. Every single day, never fails. I go to do the dishes, and yes, I do the dishes sometimes. Okay? I don't need any of that. But no, every time I do the dishes, right outside the window, there's a robin. And I'm just saying.
Now, has it been the same robin? And how long?
I think it's the same exact one.
Going on?
A year and a half. Yes.
So, has this robin gone south for the winter?
That's what I think.
And then come back?
It's given me a break at times, so it'll go away for the winter, but it'll come back, and it's right in the same spot. So my question: can birds make our yard their home? Do they remember? I wouldn't think so, but I'm also not a bird expert.
We used to have a bird feeder right out that window.
Yeah.
But then we had a problem. The birds would drop the seeds all over the place.
Right.
And then we actually had a problem with a rat getting into the bird.
I thought they were mice. Trish says the rats.
Yeah.
We can get into that another day.
So get rid of that. But I don't know. Maybe.
But I mean, the worst part, I'm out there cutting the lawn the other day. Okay. And so I had the lawnmower out.
Yeah.
I had the weed whacker out. Mm-hmm. Some loud machinery.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I was the alpha male in that situation. Okay. Not all situations. Actually, probably a very few amount of situations am I the alpha male. Okay, look at me. But anyways, no. I was the alpha male in the situation, and this bird followed me around the entire time. It wouldn't go away. And I'm not going to lie. I brought the lawnmower close. I wasn't going to kill the bird. Okay, I'm not that kind of guy.
Are you thinking like CIA or something?
I'm thinking government. I don't know what I did. I mean, I have nothing to offer the government. I can tell you this right now. I have nothing to offer anyone. But for some reason, I'm being spied on by the government. I don't know what it is, but yes, this bird has been following me around.
If anybody can relate, please let us know.
Yep.
All right, a look at sports this morning. It's a good time of year with the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics all in action. Red Sox playing well, probably much better than people thought they would. The Bruins are exciting, and the Celtics a little disappointing after the game Sunday against Brooklyn.
Wasn't a good one.
Series goes back to Brooklyn now. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. There's a new documentary about Paul McCartney and how he wrote some of his classic songs. We'll have details on that in just a bit. But getting back to sports here, I was reading something recently about how Theo Epstein has actually been put in charge with kind of making baseball more interesting. How to make the game more interesting for viewers, because they're having a problem with ratings. And
yeah, there's definitely an issue. Something definitely needs to happen.
So they're coming up with all kind of changes. I don't know how you feel about. They're talking about moving the pitcher's mound back a foot.
See, I don't really know if that would make a long-lasting difference. I mean, I really feel like if you move it back, it'll take some time to adjust, but I really think everyone would adjust.
The first time I heard that, I'm like, so that you're going to move it back, it'll be 61 feet, 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's only going to take, like you said, maybe a month to adjust.
Because you were saying that happened to Cat before.
Yeah, something happened in softball where they went from, I want to say 43 to 45 feet, or maybe it was 40 to 43 feet. And we had to change her lessons, but really after a month she figured it out.
Like, I feel, if I remember correctly, she was like she was missing high for like a little bit because it had more space to travel. So
right.
I think it would end up high, which I wonder if in baseball it would end up down. I don't know. It's been a while since I played. But anyways, so it was high, but it took her like a week, a month?
Yeah.
And she was back to normal. So I really don't know if that would make a difference.
Baseball's Commissioner Ron Manfred has allegedly deadened the balls.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do to it. I don't know if they...
Well, there's been a lot of no-hitters.
What, 4 or 5, I think?
I don't know the exact number, but I feel like it's every day I go on Instagram. And it stinks a little bit because I feel like I'm becoming desensitized to a no-hitter, which is like a very tough thing to achieve. And I feel like I go on Instagram, and it's a big graphic. It's like, oh, so-and-so threw a no-hitter. And it's kind of one of those things where you look at it and you go, and keep scrolling. Like, it's impressive, and then you just move on.
Or you come downstairs and say, hey, Matt, there was another no-hitter last night. Oh, who threw it? Some guy in Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just some guy.
Yeah.
So, I think they definitely need to make some changes to the game.
Yeah.
Now they have double headers that only go 7 innings each. Should every game only go 7 innings?
See, I don't know. As a viewer, I think maybe. I have watched a doubleheader of 2 7-inning games, and it's a little bit more exciting because it's faster paced, or at least it feels
the way
like
they
it.
manage it too.
Yeah. So I liked that. I do think they have a problem with having doubleheaders as 7-inning games and then regular games and 9-inning games. And it was actually Kat's fiance Josh that pointed this out. That stats become kind of skewed now because some teams are playing more innings than other teams, and so it's kind of hard to compare that stuff. I don't see, as a viewer, maybe, but I feel like the experience at the ballpark would kind of stink if it was only 7 innings. I feel like it would leave me wanting more.
Yeah.
I feel like 9 innings is an experience.
Especially if you're pacing yourself, pizza in the 5th inning,
Exactly.
popcorn in the 6th inning.
And they close down alcohol stands in the 7th inning, right? What are they going to do in the 5th inning now? You only got 5 innings to drink beer?
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yep.
All right, some entertainment news for you this morning. The songs of Britney Spears will be worked into a musical that's called Once Upon a One More Time, and it is going to hit the stage this November at the Shakespeare Theater Company in Washington, D.C. Do you ever think Britney Spears' music would go to Broadway? Of course, they probably said the same about Billy Joel back in the day. But Britney's hit songs in the musical will be Toxic, Lucky, Stronger, and Oops, I Did It Again. The original story imagines Cinderella, Snow White, The Little Mermaid, and Sleeping Beauty becoming modern feminists.
Okay.
The musical has been in development for at least 2 years, but I guess we're going to see it come to the stage this November.
I'll tell them this. I'm intrigued.
All right.
I'm intrigued.
So it's called, again, Once Upon a One More Time. And Mccartney 321 is a new 6-part documentary that will premiere on Hulu July 16th. Craig Erwich, who is the NBC Entertainment president, says never before have fans had the opportunity to hear Paul McCartney share in such expansive, celebratory detail the experience of creating his life's work, more than 50 years of culture-defining music. I think that'll be cool.
Who is Paul McCartney?
He was in a band before Wings called the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Eagles. I got you.
You know who Paul McCartney is.
I do need to specify that I do know who Paul McCartney is because people are going to rash on me, and it was just a joke. Okay? Don't believe everything I say. Most of the things I say are a joke. I will say that.
It is fascinating when you see him talk about how he wrote his songs and what he wrote Yesterday, the beautiful song Yesterday. He wrote that in like 2 hours.
That's great. Yeah, it is great. I love learning about people's creative processes and stuff.
So, in fact, you can actually that James Corden video. What do they do?
The carpool karaoke.
Karaoke. He actually did a half hour or an hour special with Paul McCartney, and he said just blew him away. James Corden actually saying that his father was a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
And if his father, who has passed away, if his father could only see how James was singing the songs with Paul in
that would
Liverpool.
Be insane. I do have to say, the thing I like most about carpool karaoke is it's live singing of these artists. So there's been some insane artists that go in there and you're like, okay, they can really sing. It's literally it's the microphone on a camera. Yep. There's no production going on. Yeah, no. So it is kind of cool in that aspect.
One other note here, $34 million in Mega Millions this week, $268 million in Powerball. What numbers do you choose when you play the lottery? Do you have specific numbers? Do you play birthdays or anniversaries? Do you play the numbers that maybe come out on your fortune cookie?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have certain numbers that I would play, but then we had 4 of you, and I got outnumbered. I couldn't make all the numbers fit on the card.
I ruin everything, don't I?
So I actually, it's much better, I think, to have the computer pick the numbers because let's say I have my own numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, but I don't make it to the store that day. And those numbers come out.
You'd never be able to live with yourself.
I'd hate myself.
Yeah.
This way, I don't know what my numbers would have been.
That's true.
So
Plus, I think they studied it, right? And it's something about the odds are the same or very similar.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But then I read this story that says a recent survey of 146 lottery winners, they chose their numbers based on their fortune cookie. And these lucky winners hauled in more than $400 million between them.
That's crazy. What I do want to know, though, is did they get one fortune cookie and they keep playing those numbers? Or do they, is this a thing where they go out for Chinese and whatever fortune cookie they get that night, they play those numbers?
I would think that would be it. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a fun little tradition there. Go get some Chinese and then buy some lottery tickets.
Last time I got a fortune cookie, there was no fortune in it.
That's scary.
I know. What does that mean? Does that mean there's no hope for me?
Do you think they do that as a prank? They're like, I'm going to mess with the person that gets this cookie.
Well, I can tell you it worked the last time they did it to me.
Right.
All right. One of my favorite parts of the radio show was the interviews that we did. I met David Baldacci, my favorite author.
Did you?
I had him on the show.
I never knew that.
Yep. I had David on the show one day, and I loved reading his material. We had some great interviews. I'll admit we had some that you kind of rush them off stage.
Give me names. I need to know who.
Don't forget, the book is called this, and thank you very much. Have a good day. So we sat around we are bringing the interviews back.
Yes.
And we sat around wondering who would be a good guest for the first show.
Yep.
And I thought maybe we could get in touch with someone who would have some advice for you as to what it's like to be the co-host. So I got in touch with probably someone who was a co-host for the longest, and that was my good friend Scott Renish. So on show number 1, we have Scott Renish as our first guest. Look at you, huh? Guest number 1, welcome.
What happened? Nobody else could show up?
How did you know?
That's it, yeah.
We had 3 cancellations. No, I was actually thinking that you are probably the one that was the co-host for the longest, right?
I think so. It started in the late 80s, and it went for a significant amount of time. And then there was a pause, and then we brought the show back.
Right. I remember in the 90s. We did a lot of stuff in the 90s, so I remembered that. But I also thought that maybe you could give Matt, a little heads up as to what it's like sitting.
Yeah, what am I getting myself into right now?
Yeah.
Not much. Here's the key. I'll tell you a benefit of it if you want to know, Matt.
Yeah.
If you get coffee, you can hold on to the change for quite some time. Yeah.
He used to, I used to give him a 20 to get coffee in the morning for the two of us or what. And then he'd come back and he just wouldn't give me any change. And that would go on.
Yeah, days sometimes.
It was a tip. It was a delivery fee. Yeah.
Maybe a couple of
All of a sudden, a week later, Pete would say, "Hey, you got the change from that 20?"
He pulls out $50 from the last month of change that he saved up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember you always had you brought the coffee every morning, right? And you used to pick up the newspapers back in the day.
Well, yeah, it could be. If you want to go back a little farther, before I was the co-host on the Pete Braley Show. If you backed up way before that into the early 90s, I was the first job I ever had at WBSM I was the intern back when you were on with Greg. This was 92, 93.
Greg that did the promo?
Yep,
Greg?
the voice guy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So that was back on Union Street. So my job then was there was, if you remember, a McDonald's in downtown New Bedford.
Oh, right. Yes.
And I would walk there.
Right,
and
from the radio station.
Pancakes and whatever. I think we had designated days where we ate at McDonald's.
Wow. So how's this going to work? We just have a Keurig in the kitchen. So do I have to make it in the kitchen and bring it in
Could
here?
you please?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That would be nice if you
Great.
did that. Yeah. Were you there? Remember the day that Greg and I? It was the first day of summer, so we wanted to celebrate by doing the show at the beach, but I forget what it was. We obviously couldn't arrange, a beach broadcast at 6 a.m. So Greg filled up the back of his pickup truck with sand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You were there for that?
Yeah. That was probably the first month I had ever worked in the building at all.
And your assignment was to fill up a pickup truck with sand.
It's a miracle you didn't quit.
And we had a couple of beach chairs and a beach ball there. And we did the show from the corner of Purchase Street and Union in a pickup truck for the first day of summer. So that was one of the.
How was it received? Was it a good idea?
I think
Did it work
so.
out?
I think, there was part of the. By the way, that's
dear.
Charlie.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Charlie in the
Charlie.
background.
He's on the couch.
We just started the interview. People are already crying.
Charlie wants to get down and play, but there's all kind of
There's a lot of wires. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's probably not a good idea.
Trying to keep him away from the wires. Yeah. So what now? Of course, many people know what Scott's up to now, but let's cover it here for a bit. Scott is the program director at Easy 99.1, and tell us about your day.
It never ends. It's those long days that don't seem to come to an end any day. But the good news is it's fun. So it's nothing that's I'm not emptying septic systems out of daily. That's not a good job. No offense. But the day starts at 8:00, and we've been broadcasting from home since the beginning of the pandemic, and life has gotten better because of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you prefer broadcasting from home or in the studio?
Because it changes your lifestyle so much. So the bottom line, quickly, it changes. You have more available time for your family. You have more available time to cook. You have more available time for household chores because it takes the office and brings it into your home. Now you have 24 hours a day where you could tend to radio stuff as opposed to just the time that you were in a building. So it makes a big difference. I hope I never go back.
Yeah. What is the, because a lot of people feel, especially with the loosening of the regulations this weekend, there are some people that feel the pandemic is over. So I was just, are they talking about you moving back in the studio or what?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think what it'll eventually will happen is it may be like a hybrid model where I go in sometimes, but if I couldn't do things the same way or better, then I would vouch to go. I would vote to go back to the building. But in essence, it's a downgrade if I go back, at least right now.
Yeah.
But it just changes a lot of things. I spend a lot of time at night, when the talks are on, I'll put it on in the background and do work that I would normally have to do within the confines of a 9-to-5 day. But now I can do it at night when things are more relaxed. Abby's upstairs doing homework or FaceTime your friends, and I'm working.
Mm-hmm. Now you've got probably one of the most popular shows in the area right now with the back in the day Easy Cafe, wouldn't you say?
It's caught on quite a bit. Yeah, I've been doing that show now for about 7 years, if you can believe it, 6 or 7. And it started off slow, but it's turned into something that, the whole station really, something that people look forward to have and make it a part of their day. And I always say that Easy 99.1 is like your favorite coffee cup. So everybody has a shelf in their kitchen that's loaded with coffee cups, right?
Right.
But you've never seen the ones in the back or on the side. You go to the same 2 coffee cups all the time because you're comfortable with it. It's your favorite. It feels like part of your life. Even if it's a little chipped, it's got coffee stains in it. It's faded a little, but you're going to go right back and you won't go for the brand new mug in the back because it's not quote unquote your mug. So we've turned into people's favorite coffee mug.
That's a great way to put it. I've never heard it said that way before. One of the things I like about Easy 99.1, and it's true, I did work there, and I might work there again when things get back to
I hope.
normal. Yeah. But one of the things
We'll
I
have
always
to
liked
negotiate
was
though, because I do have you under contract now.
Oh,
We'll have to see what happens.
is that what I signed the other night?
Yep.
Darn, I shouldn't do that when we're having beveraginos. But one of the things I liked about the station, and I enjoy now as a listener, is you always seem to have an oh wow song. You know, you'd be listening, and all of a sudden the song comes on, and you go, "Wow, I haven't heard that in so many years."
Yeah, but it's one that you know word for word, I bet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I texted Scott the other day because Scott can tell you that one of the running bits we had on the show was that I was a Tom Jones fan. Now, I don't know if Matt will have to look up who Tom Jones was.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah. Tom Jones, how would you describe Tom Jones, Scott?
The pop
Like a
Elvis.
Vegas- the pop Elvis. There you go. He did, the Vegas shows. He always wore tuxedo, and the women would throw their underwear at the stage.
Ah.
Yeah, he was that kind of guy.
Sometimes they were clean.
Sometimes,
Not often.
and I was a fan. I don't know why I became a fan of his, and this was going back to the '60s, late '60s. And anytime we had a Tom Jones reference on the show, I would fire off one of his songs. Do we have to bring Charlie over to the show?
Why not? What's he got to disconnect?
There you go. But I would always, play a Tom Jones song and kind of act it out. The other day, Scott actually got a request. Here comes Charlie. Oh. I got too many buttons. Oh. You see Charlie here now?
Now he's happy.
Hopefully we're not butchering the audio quality now.
So the other day I was listening to Scott, and someone called and requested a Tom Jones song. So he played Green Green Grass of Home on the Back of the Day Cafe. And wasn't that a theme of it was Colors was a theme?
Yeah, that day it was colors. So it had to have the song had to have a color in the title.
I will say that's one of the cool things, because we're friends on Facebook, and I always see you have like a different theme, and everyone comments under it
Every Friday.
Yeah, I definitely like the themes. It's a creative idea.
Matt, it's not unusual for a young person not to know who Tom Jones is.
And that's one of his songs. It's not unusual.
Okay, see, I knew the song. If you said that,
there you go.
I just didn't know who Tom Jones is. Yeah,
Isn't that from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah.
They made it famous again.
Yep.
So, somebody called in and requested a song. So while I was driving, actually. So once I got home, I texted Scott. And I said, would it surprise you that I know every word to that song? And
even though you haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah. And his response to me was, not at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's a good point, though, because I always hear songs, and like I never think to add them to a playlist, because you don't really think of old songs. I feel like that's the way music is now with streaming, is like you listen to the most recent releases, and then they just get dumped and you don't hear them for years. At least that's how I go. So
that's our job,
way to bring it back.
Make you remember songs that you forgot you knew.
Yeah.
So you're on the air from what, 8 to 1, is it, or 8 to 2?
8 to 1 now. He'll probably adjust that a little bit going forward as we try to bring back some pieces that we had to let go for because of the pandemic. But
what's it been like being on the air during the pandemic? I can't, I wasn't, obviously wasn't on the air, so I can't imagine what it was like dealing with things changing every day, right?
Yeah, but the mindset that we had was, you can get endless news and people arguing back and forth about what they should be doing anywhere. So we tried to go the other way. We made it a place for people to get away from everything. And this is the same time we went through that crazy election and all of those things that were happening in the same time period as the pandemic was going on. So the mindset for us was, you know what, we're just going to make people happy. We're going to play great music. We're going to give people an outlet to try to put a smile on their face. And if they need to get into the depths of the pandemic or the election or anything that was going on, there was plenty of places they could do that. So we went the other way.
Yeah. Well, definitely it was something that was welcome by many people to have an escape.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as the time went by, the more and more people wanted the escape. At the beginning, people needed to know what was going on. But then after a while, people had just had enough.
So, you and I have been talking about the show past couple of weeks. The show that we used to do on BSM, and you actually sent us a bunch of audio. Well, it used to be morning promos, right?
Yeah, we would take a clip from every show, the highlight of the show, at least what we thought the highlight was. You know? And we would run that all day on WBSM so that people who may or may not have tuned into the morning show would be enticed to listen to it based on a small clip that they heard. So we did that every day for quite some time, and there were hundreds of them, really.
I mean, the great thing for me is I never really listened to your show all that much because I was really young.
I couldn't even get him to listen.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I was young when it all happened. So like re-listening to the clips, especially most of those clips were before I was even born because there were some clips of Sarah and Doug when they were like super young. So I wasn't even a thought yet.
Yeah.
And so it was reliving all those clips. I mean, you guys were pretty good. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, thank you.
Pretty good.
It worked. It worked. It was fun. It was, you know what? I'm having a great time now at the station because I'm able to play. I've always loved this music all my life, so to have an outlet for it now is great for me. But the time I spent with Pete on that show, man, did we have some fun? We really did.
And it was really a lot of it. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of it was, not planned, but I mean, they were just things that developed. And one of the best things I ever did in my radio career, I don't know if I've ever discussed this with you, Scott, but I think you saw it. One of the best things I ever did was I learned to relax. I learned to just step, because I used to be a very formatic guy. I have to get the call letters in. I have to tell you the time and the temperature and all of that stuff. But then I learned to just sit back. And if Scott came up with an idea that I hadn't even thought of, I had to teach myself to go with it.
If you remember, you used to say once in a while when we were in a commercial break, mics were off, and you'd say, "Oh, I got to tell you what happened to me yesterday," while we were off the air, and I go, "Nope, do it on the air."
Yep.
I don't want to know about it now. Wait till we turn the mics on. And you go, "Oh, perfect." And it would always, you would tell the story on the air, and the first time I would hear of it would be when it was on the air. That way, you could get my natural reaction from it. So I didn't like to plan things because it ruined the spontaneity of it.
Well, it's funny too because we're planning the show and shows to come, and I feel like the first concern when we kind of had this idea was like, what are we even going to talk about? Do we have enough to talk about on a day-to-day basis? And like listening to those clips, you could tell that like not all of that was just that, like that wasn't a structured out like scripted thing. And so that's what I feel like we tried to emphasize is like we don't need to plan out 6 months of shows right now because
it'll plan itself.
Exactly. Yep. Life happens, and what happens yesterday we can use today. And
this guy wants to get down.
So yeah, we can definitely do stuff like that. Charlie, come on, man.
But one of the things Matt told me that I can look forward to is a lot of those tapes that or the CD that you sent to us, Scott. They're going to become what? You're going to surprise me with
from the vault clip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to tell them what it is. I have some bones to pick with certain segments. So yeah.
Bones to pick?
Yeah.
Charlie is, what did we decide? 3 months old because we were told he was born on March 1st. So with the show today, he is 3 months old, and he is I don't know if I mentioned this, he is a schnoodle.
Yeah, I was going to ask. What is that?
It's a cross between he's a schnauzer and a poodle.
Oh, okay.
I originally wanted to name him Noodle, but Priscilla said no. Should we mention what Mom wanted to name him?
This will probably be a thing on the show too, not just in the interview, but she wanted to name him Jethro.
From the Hillbillies?
I don't know what it was from. She didn't know what it was from.
NCIS, it's Jethro Gibbs, or you and I are showing our age with the Beverly Hillbillies, but we tried
to be nice, but I was like straight up like, Mom, that's a terrible name.
Yeah,
like no.
So
it doesn't sound like a dog name.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't he look like a Charlie though?
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
Definitely the better name.
He's got his own blog now too. He writes Charlie Chats every Friday.
Oh,
yeah,
talented.
And I forget how much work a puppy can be. So that, especially when he wakes up at like 3 a.m, he has to go outside.
But you're not the one that took him out at 3 a.m. that time.
What's that?
You called me and I took him out at 3 a.m.
Well, you happen to still be up.
Yeah.
I texted him and I'm like, "Are you still up?" And thank God he said yes.
Those days are over though. We'll be up early every day.
So Scott, thank you for being guest number 1 on show number 1 here. And no, it's not because we couldn't get anyone else.
I appreciate it. And like I said, I had a blast during those days. And I'm glad you're doing this because people need to hear and see you, and I think that it'll catch on, and it's going to be a massive success, my opinion.
Well, thank you very much.
You got to
I'm sure there'll be many more interviews with you as well.
Well, now that we have all this fantastic technology, that's something we did not have
That's true.
when the Pete
Very
Braley
true.
Show was going on in the 90s. Remember how afraid of Y2K we were?
Yes. Yes. We thought everything was going to crash
Yeah.
at when at the end of 1999.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to expect. And nothing happened.
Not a thing. Nothing. That was so overhyped, just like anything else, really.
I don't even remember reading stories about, this place had this. I read nothing about computer issues at Y2K. Well, thank you again, Scott. And we'll be in touch and have you on again, I'm sure, as we go on.
Thank you, Pete. It's been an honor. And Matt, don't forget the coffee.
Yep. It's my only job here.
But
care,
keep the
guys.
change.
Yes, I will store the change, save it up. But
Have
I
a
will
great
not
day.
give it back this time.
Oh,
It adds up, if you don't give it back.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
all right. Thanks. Our thanks again to Scott Renish for being on the show with us today. And boy, our voices sounded low on that.
Yeah, that's a combination of Zoom quality and allergies. That's what that was.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm actually going through allergies. I got a double whammy here because I had allergy season down in Virginia Beach when I was there in April. And then I came back May 1st, just in time for allergy season here.
Yeah,
So,
you really lucked out there.
yeah, double whammy. Before we close out, let me, maybe you could mention how to reach us again and all the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, so for this video, make sure you comment underneath. Tell us your thoughts of the show. Tell us what you want to see, any questions you have, any comments, any compliments for some of us. But anyways, no, you can in the live streams you can live chat. We would love that. I'll be monitoring it, like I said, telling Pete what I see, what we want to talk about, and hit us up on Instagram and Facebook at the Pete Braley Show, and also the email thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com.
Charlie came very close to just bumping into your camera. So
Yeah,
if you
he's
have
been
any,
asleep this entire time. He's been doing a great
Yep.
job until now.
any comments for Charlie, just let us know.
Yeah.
So what's up for you today for the rest of the day?
Well, like I said, we're recording this the day before you guys are about to see it, so it's actually almost 8 o'clock. I have a little bit more to do.
Time to go to bed.
Yeah, right. I have a little bit more to do with. I'm taking a music class actually
cool.
on songwriting and production, so I have a little bit more to do for the day, and then
All right.
and then my day's done.
We'll have to
Luckily.
learn more about that. And also for me, today I am going to be dealing with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
nice.
Back in the boots, and we'll have the story about that tomorrow, as well as much more. So,
Yes.
as I used to do on the, we're going to end every show with a thought for the day. And I thought it'd explain a phrase that I used to use a lot when I did the radio show. I would end it by saying, all right, go out and make it a good day. Now, you notice I'm not saying have a good day, because when I say have a good day, it kind of sounds like you have to have someone else help you.
Yeah.
Hopefully things fall in line and you will have a good day. But in this way, I'm saying make it a good day. Go out and make it a good day. Find something. Do something that'll make you happy. Make it a good day. So, make it a good day.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
gonna do it for us.
Take care.
Peace.